Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unleashing Brilliance. It's absolutely wonderful to have you here, and hello to anyone that is listening for the first time today. Now, I want to start today with sharing a conversation that I had recently with a fabulous client. She was sitting across from me, her arms were folded, and she was looking seriously frustrated. And she said to me, Janine, why aren't I getting any leads? Now, how many of you feel the same? How many of you are in that exact position right now, wondering where on earth that next client is going to come from? Well, here's what I asked her. I said to her, when did you last send an email to your audience? She thought for a second, and then she said, I think it's been about 2 weeks. All right, I said, and how often are you sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions on the platform where your ideal clients are hanging out? And she replied, I post something like once a week. Here's the kicker. I then asked, when did you last make an offer? And she looked at me puzzled and said, what do you mean? To which I went, well, when did you last let your potential clients know that your doors are open for business, that you're here and that you're ready to work with them? She paused and then admitted, I haven't. Now, here's the thing. This story isn't an unusual story. We post, we wait, and then we post a little more, and we wait a little more, thinking that people will just come out of the woodworks to us. But here's the truth. Every single week, we do need to be thinking, we definitely need to be selling, and we need to be delivering, because otherwise what happens is you end up as the world's best kept secret. And we all know that secret isn't going to generate the level of leads or the revenue that you're wanting. So today, I want to get down to business, and I want to share with you some practical, actionable marketing steps that you can take right now to generate more leads. And whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or you're just starting out, this episode is packed with some strategies to boost your visibility, to build those connections, and to get those dream clients rolling in. So I know that lead generation can be daunting, but here's the truth. It doesn't have to be complicated. We just need to focus on consistent, intentional action and the right marketing tasks that actually matter. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 powerful tips. And if you stick with me, by the end of this episode, you will have your very own lead generation plan so that you can start implementing today. But before we dive into these 5 powerful ways to bring in more leads, I want to pause for a second. And I really want you to think about what is getting in the way right now. Because often the biggest obstacles aren't out there, they're right here in how we're showing up or we're not showing up. They're right here in terms of how we may or may not be showing up in our own businesses. So let's get back to my client story. She's passionate, she's experienced, she's got runs on the board, she's got so much to offer, but she wasn't getting any traction. And when we started peeling back the layers, a few common themes came up. Maybe this is what's going on for you. First up, there was this invisible waiting game. How many of us can relate? I know I can, from the first few years of running my own business, where I was posting loads of stuff, but there was nothing coming in. I was playing this invisible waiting game. We're out there. We're putting in the work. But then it's like we sit back and we're waiting for people to notice. We might throw a post or 2 out there, maybe a blog post, a few social media updates, and think, okay, now it's time for those clients to roll in. I'm waiting. I'm ready. But let me tell you, waiting around doesn't build pipeline. It builds frustration. Then there's that fear. I hear this one so many times. I'm so scared of being too salesy, Janine. And that fear of being too salesy actually results in so many of us avoiding telling people directly what it is that we do, how we can help, or even asking for business, because we don't want to come across as pushy or too forward. But the truth is, if you don't tell people how you can help, they simply won't know. And I see this all the time, talented, driven people sitting on the sidelines because they're afraid to say, hey, here's what I do. I'm open for business. And let's talk about the consistency trap. My client was definitely posting stuff once a week, but without any real rhythm or intention behind it. One-off posts, scattered emails, random updates. they don't necessarily create momentum. And if we want to attract leads, we've got to show up regularly with intentionality and with purpose. And finally, there's the classic hesitation to make the offer. So many people avoid this because they don't realize how important it is. They think that if they show up just enough times, clients will naturally ask about their services, but they don't. Here's the thing, without a clear invitation or a specific offer, potential clients may not even realize that they're invited to take the next step. I know it sounds simple, but this little shift can completely change the game. So if you're posting and waiting, if you're holding back out of fear or simply not letting people know how they can work with you, then it's no wonder leads aren't flowing. The good news is you can shift all of that today, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. I want to share with you 5 specific actions that you can take right now to stop hiding, to start connecting, and to actively open the door to your dream clients. So get your pen ready because I'm going into these 5 tips right now. So tip number 1 is about creating a lead magnet that solves a real immediate need. When we talk about lead magnets, we're talking about something that will make potential clients' lives easier, better, or more informed right now. So many people create lead magnets that are, well, a bit self-serving or irrelevant. But what if instead you focused on creating a piece of content that really tackles a pressing issue that your target audience have right now? For example, think about the biggest pain points your clients are facing today. What questions do they keep asking you? What keeps coming up in conversations? Maybe it's a simple guide, a checklist, or it could be a quick video series. Think about your clients, what challenges, what problems, what questions they're having right now, and create a lead magnet that serves them, that can help them right now. Just last year, for example, I was having lots of conversations with so many people about how I follow up on potential leads. How do I follow up a meeting of somebody, an initial conversation, an initial request for work? And what I did is I created the 1% follow-up strategy guide that directly addressed the issue of staying memorable after going to a meeting or after attending an event. And it worked so well because it was relevant and it was helpful and people needed it at the time. Once you have your lead magnet, put it on your homepage, link it into your email signature, share it across social media, make it everywhere you are. Don't be shy about letting people know how valuable it is. If it is needed by your clients right now, you have created something that is an act of service to them. Make sure you're not hiding that amazing resource, but that you're letting the world know, you're letting your target audience know that you have the very thing that can help them. Tip number 2. I call it busking out. This is about getting in front of your audience online and offline. Now, I like to call this busking because it's all about putting yourself out there. Just like a busker in a busy city street, we've got to be visible and we've got to make it easy for people to stop and listen. This is about showing up where your audience is already hanging out, whether that's a digital space like LinkedIn, a Facebook group, or a local community event. Is making sure that you are hanging out, that you are busking out where your ideal clients are. You know, a client of mine once was able to double her lead volume in a month by doing this digital busk out on LinkedIn. Every single day she shared short, value-packed insights that solved specific problems her clients were facing at that time. She made offers, she invited comments, and she even ran a live Q&A, and the engagement skyrocketed. She got leads from that. Another of my clients, an incredible woman, check her out on LinkedIn, a lady called Leah Mether. She started a series called Ask Leah. It was a video series, and she has been posting consistently her answers to Ask Leah questions every single week. And yes, it's generating leads, as this activity in itself is raising her positioning, is helping her clients understand how she can work with them, how she can help them. And what's really beautiful as well is it's also showing her potential clients her style of delivery. Her leads have gone up, Her revenue has doubled in the last 12 months, and this activity of Ask Leah has now become a critical part of her marketing strategy. And don't forget those offline opportunities. Look for speaking gigs, join local networking events, or even partner up with other businesses for a collaborative partner-styled event where you can both access each other's databases, each other's client base to raise awareness of what you are doing. These in-person connections still matter deeply, and they do help you stay top of mind. So busking out. Tip number 3 is I want you to think about adding clear calls to action everywhere, especially on your website. One of the simplest ways to get more leads is actually to ask. Many of us forget the basics of having clear, irresistible call to actions across our websites, across our social media profiles, across our emails. Make it clear and easy for people to work with you. On your homepage, for example, make sure you've got some sort of call to action, get your free guide here, download this button at the top of your website, not lost somewhere towards the bottom. And don't be afraid to include a work with me or a let's chat button on your blog, on your social media posts, or in your emails. Ensure that you're making it as easy as possible for your clients to reach out and find you. You've got to keep triggering them that your doors are open for business. As an example, I had a client who wasn't getting any leads through her website. And when I actually looked at her website, her call to action, her CTA, was actually buried at the bottom of her page. So we did the simple move of moving it to a more visible place. We made it more compelling, and boom, the leads started rolling in. Remember, your clients are busy people. They're not scrolling to find your contact form. You've got to make it easy for them to say yes. Tip number 4, ask for referrals and make sure you follow through on those referrals. I get that asking for referrals can feel intimidating, but it's an absolute gold mine. Because these referrals are coming from people that are already experiencing how you work, the value that you bring, your unique approach to how you work. They're already experiencing the genius that is you, and they've already experienced how you have changed their world. The truth is, people love to connect their friends with solutions, but they do need a little bit of a nudge. It's not up to them to think about you. It's not up to them to think about and to connect the dots as to who else could benefit from you. Yes, there's some genius people out there that operate like that, but the majority of our clients are working with us because they love our work and they're soaking it up. They're not necessarily thinking about who they can introduce you to. So we've got to ask for help here. We've got to ask for referrals. Make it a habit to ask your satisfied clients if they know someone else that would benefit from your work. This is something that we teach in my Elevate program, and we have a 5-step system. In fact, I might have to do a blog on this, but a 5-step system to ensure that it's not just about asking for referrals, but it is about then getting the follow through happening and turning those into leads. So make it a habit in your sales process, in your client relationship process, to ensure that you asking satisfied clients if they know someone else who would benefit from your work. And don't just ask once. Follow through. Show appreciation for referrals. I always say, don't let those referrals just sit there. Act on them quickly. Call them, email them, and let them know that you referred by someone that they trust. One of my clients runs a consulting business, and she was so nervous about asking for referrals. But what we ended up doing is developing a way where it became natural for her to bring it up and to follow through with, if you know someone that would benefit from this, can you please contact us? It opened up a yes. It opened up a of course. And what I do is I always say, can you make that introduction for me and copy me in, and I will take it from there. And then I have a process for following up, for taking the lead, for being intentional around those referrals. And I always make sure that I let the referrer know how I am progressing with that referral that they've made. It takes time, it takes effort, it needs a system, and it absolutely should be part of your client relationship management process. The final tip I've got for you is making offers regularly. Don't just wait for clients to come to you. This is one of the most important and yet overlooked strategies. It's about making offers and making them regularly. Every single week, we need to make offers. It's a numbers game. The more offers you make, the more chances you have of those offers turning into clients. We can't assume that people know what we are offering or even how we can help them. Sometimes our potential clients are just waiting for you to say, hey, I can help you with that. Think about it this way. If you don't tell people what you can do for them, someone else will. You're not being pushy by making offers. You're actually providing a solution. You're giving your potential clients a choice. You're letting them know that your door is open, whether it's for service, consultation, or a product. You've got to let your audience know that this is the very thing that you do and your doors are open. So making offers regularly is key. A business owner I know is really struggling to bring in leads, and she hadn't realized that she actually hadn't made a clear offer in months. She started doing regular offer posts on social media. She started letting people know exactly what she could help them with, what it was that she could do. And of course, people started responding to those posts. She started getting leads. It opened up conversations. She was then able to work on converting those leads. It's about putting yourself out there and offering a way to your potential clients to work together and giving them that clear next step. So here's a quick summary if you've been following along. Number one, it's about creating a lead magnet that meets an urgent need, the need right now that your target clients are struggling with. Put it everywhere. Make sure that people can see it. The second tip is about busking out and getting visible. Where are your clients? Go there, whether it's online or in person, and make sure you're not just turning up, but that you're visible in those spaces, that you're busking out, much like someone on the street playing their songs, that you're busking out and trying to get noticed for what it is that you do and how you can help. Number three, use clear calls to action on your website and emails. Make it easy for people to work with you. Number four, ask for referrals and follow through, because your next clients might already be at your fingertips and in your network. And number five, finally, make offers consistently. Remind people how you can help and invite them to work with you. And remember, these aren't things you try just once. They're part of a consistent, ongoing marketing effort to grow your business and to build relationships. Each one of these tasks is a way to get your message out there, to show up, and to serve your ideal clients. I want to thank you for tuning in today. I hope these tips have helped. I hope you're ready to get out there, to put yourself in front of the right people and to start generating those leads. I'd love to hear how you go, and I'd love to hear which one is working for you. If there's anything you want me to cover on this podcast, make sure you message me. And until next week, go out there, be brilliant, share your awesomeness, and let those potential clients out there that are needing your help know that you're right here, right now, and your doors are open for business. I'll see you next week.